What's up, good people? Welcome back to my channel, Just Does TV. Thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Let's get right into the video. Y'all already seen the thumbnail. Child, it's difficult. I'm gonna just start by saying that. So I just want to let y'all know why I haven't posted any videos sooner. Was because I had surgery on my hand. I don't know if y'all can see it's swollen. Y'all see the difference? Y'all see it's swollen. And now I took the cast off, and now I just have the bandage because I can't get the stitches wet and stuff like that. So it's a little bit difficult for me to edit videos with one hand, but I'm trying. So we're gonna run through this BaDDIES Gone Wild real quick, and then I'm gonna do, y'all better come back for BaDDIES Africa episode 3, child, because we got a lot to talk about over there. But anyway, we're gonna talk about this BaDDIES Gone Wild. TeeTee and Daisy, child, that fight between TeeTee and Daisy, I knew going in that Daisy was gonna whip TeeTee, right? But I just didn't know how bad. And it's not even that she beat her bad, like bloody bad or anything like that, but she was throwing haymakers, bopping the crap out of her, yo. Even when they finished fighting, TeeTee got up and she was like, yo, she hit hard. And I'm like, girl, I know. You see her size? You see her size? Child, she was wop, wop, wop. I can't even do it with one hand. She was bopping her all over the place. I said, oh, well, that's on you, child. That is on you. They all sitting around just trying to unpack after that, and freaking Cupcake was doing she had a treatment done, and then also Daisy had a treatment done. And I'm like, how y'all over here ripping and running, drinking and partying, and you turning around and having asthma attacks to the point where you need a treatment? Child, what? I was just like, all of that conversation, they, you know, it was just crazy to see that them two is sitting there having a treatment after all of that fussing and mussing the day they was doing. Anyway, so they kind of like sat around for a little bit more and talked through it. And, you know, TeeTee was trying to explain her point, and Daisy was trying to explain her point that, you know, she wasn't trying to bogart her room. She was just trying to say, not the bed. She wasn't trying to bogart the bed. You know, she was trying to say that they could sleep together in the same bed or whatever. And TeeTee was like, nah, I fought for this room. It is what it is. You go fight for your room too. But I said that last week when I did my review last week. I said that Daisy wasn't trying to like take over the room and take over her bed. She was just trying to sleep in the bed with her. And she was like, oh, I can sleep with 2 people, but I can't sleep with 1. I mean, you know, and I understand both of their points. I understand TeeTee's point and I understand Daisy's point. You know, Daisy was like, that bed is too little. Because even when, like I said last week, if you watch my video from last week, even when they got in the room, I was like, what is all of this cake doing in this little twin bed? I said it last week, so I already knew. And I also understand TeeTee's point. TeeTee was like, listen, I don't want to share my bed with nobody, and it is what it is. And we don't know what kind of smells they got going on, what kind of hygiene they got going on. We don't know none of that stuff. So I'm here for that. Like, I don't want to share my bed with you either. Get out of here. But that's just me. But I understood both of their points. And, you know, they kind of like finished with that, and they was just all talking. Then we get to a part where they in a round table downstairs. You know, they playing games. They playing Never Have I Ever. You know, trying to get to know each other better before all of the, you know, before they continue with all of the melee. So that I was just like, all right, that's cool. It's all good. Like, I'm here for that part. But they get to talking and discussing their issues and discuss what's going on and stuff. And it was a couple of bickering back and forth. They were talking about people who don't need to be here because you're not really doing nothing. You kind of like back in the cut, not really being seen, not really showing out, not really doing nothing. And some of the people got offended. I can't remember them girls' names, child, but they was offended. Jaden or Jordan, whatever her name is, Jaden, Jordan, whatever her name. I think it's Jaden. Jaden and that other girl that keep going back and forth. I think her name is Emery. That they keep going back and forth about this mother situation. Need to let it go. Like, it's episode 3 and y'all still dragging this at a table. She don't want to fight you. You done beat her up like 5,000 times. Like, stop with the shenanigans and move on. Find another storyline to go on. And even when you did try to find another storyline, child, look what happened. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Anyway, Cupcakes cancer announcement. Who was not feeling that? I wasn't feeling that. You drop down in the comments, let me know if y'all was feeling that, because I was just like, ooh, she trying to use this as a excuse not to do what she doing. And my whole thing is, when she said that, I looked at the TV like, what she just said? Girl, what? You been drinking, shaking, showing, popping, smoking, all kind of stuff you've been doing, and you gonna sit here and tell us that you have a possibly diagnosed with cancer? Girl, go sit down somewhere, because I think you're lying. I think you're lying just to get people off your back. Not even lying. I think you just threw that out there to get people off your back. So I wouldn't say she's lying. I would just say that she just threw that out there for people to feel sympathy for her, like you pulling a sympathy card. But that's just how I feel. Y'all drop that in the comments. Let me know if y'all felt the same way, because I surely felt that. And let's talk about TeeTee and Bahati's argument and the issues again. Like, they they went back and forth again. And I was just like, when are they gonna let this go? Because TeeTee, she knows she could beat Bahati, or she knows she could beat Bahati. But so she keep pushing the issue, and I'm just like, girl, find somebody else to play with. Like, find something else to do or something, because the issue with Bahati, she said y'all talked it out, y'all discussed it, whether you apologize or not, who really cares? But y'all discussed the issue, and here you are again the next day at the round table bringing up the issue again. Girl, go sit down somewhere. You and your blue stupid looking hair. Anyway, so the issue with Shay is the online pics. That conversation with the online pics. Not my online pics, but the issue with Shay and the online pics, and the fact that she brought it up, and then the fact that the whole table was getting on her, and she wasn't standing on business, and she was like, oh, I didn't say that, I didn't say this, I didn't say that. She didn't say this and she didn't say that because Daisy done bopped her up and lumped her up. But Shay need to let that go too, and I'm literally feeling like all of them need to let these situations go. Emery is getting on my nerves, especially with that issue with Jaden. It's getting on my nerves, and I was just, the whole time I was just like, shut up, Jaden, shut up. The whole episode, y'all let me know if y'all was the same way, because the whole episode I was like, Jaden, I wish you shut up. Stop giving people fighting advice, and you not even trying to fight. You scary. Like, girl, shut up. I was saying that the whole episode. I was glad that Jaden finally said she didn't want to fight, even though she used her hand as an issue. She didn't want to fight. I'm just glad she said it, because we all knew it. I was just waiting for her to admit to it. So I'm glad she said that. TeeTee and Bahati end up fighting again. TeeTee and Bahati end up fighting again. And again, and again, and again. Child, and again. I'm saying it till I'm blue in the face. I'm tired of TeeTee and Bahati fighting, child. I'm tired of TeeTee. Now, the first round, Bahati got her, though. I can't even front. That first round, when they went, Bahati got her. And the second round, TeeTee came back. And then the third and fourth and fifth and thousandth of rounds, they was like pretty much tied up. But when Bahati tried to almost kick her down the stairs, she could have kicked her down the stairs. If that kick would have connected, she could have kicked her down the stairs and potentially broke a bone, because she only skin and bones anyway. She could have broke a hip. She could have broke anything if she would have connected with that kick and kicked her down the stairs, child. She could have broke something. But I was glad it didn't connect, because I would have hated to see her go flying down the stairs and break a hip. Child, yes. So, Coco needs to shut up too. Coco doing a whole lot of yapping, and your eye looking like, I don't know, your eyes like bloodshot red, and you just yapping up. And I'm just like, girl, shut up too. Like, they all talking, giving advice and da-da-da-da. Why don't you use that advice in your own fights? Because Daisy mopped you up too. She almost pushed you through the window. Just shut up, please. Her, Jaden, and then gloss up. We're going to talk about her when we get there, though. Anyway, so the fact that they keep fighting is annoying me. Their knees is all scraped up, child. She bit Bahati's finger. I was just like, these little animals is just letting it all hang out, child. But it is what it is. I don't know. So then we get to the gym scene. And the gym scene, Daisy and Rella kind of like get into it. But the gym scene had Emery, Shay, Rella came in and Daisy was already in there and they was working out, child. They wasn't even moving. They was just yapping. They wasn't even moving. And I don't even understand why. I understand why Daisy don't need to be working out her arms, because she was throwing them haymakers, but she need to be working out them legs, child. She need to be working out them legs, but not the arms, because the arms is good. The arms is good. But then Rella comes in and she wants to know why Daisy called her boring at the table. So Daisy, the explanation that Daisy gave, like the reason that Daisy gave, I was just like, that is not a real reason because you said so. That's like a 5-year-old reason. Like, give her reasons why you say she's boring. You can't just say, oh, because I said you're boring. That's like a 5-year-old answering a question that they got caught red-handed with. Child, please. Let me tell y'all, that New York conversation kind of pissed me off. That New York conversation pissed me off, to be honest. That New York conversation pissed me off. Y'all already know I was born and raised in New York, lived in New York all my life. New York is my stomping ground. Brooklyn. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, child. Don't take me there. But it is a thing. Brooklyn and the 5 boroughs, Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, Harlem, the 5 boroughs, and Rochester, even Long Island, is different. So when people say they're from New York, they're not from New York, New York. You understand what I'm saying? So people who are not from New York don't understand that conversation. They just don't understand that conversation. And we have that beef all the time and that conversation all the time. If you from the 5 boroughs, you from New York. If you from Rochester, you from upstate. If you from Long Island, you from the island. Like, you not from New York. So it's a difference. So that's why when people from New York, when people say they from New York, everybody from New York be like, where? Because we already know what it is. If you from the 5 boroughs, you are from New York. If you in Rochester, you upstate. If you in Long Island, you somewhere else. If you in Jersey, you over there. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a thing. So for people to constantly always say, oh, I don't understand what this New York thing is. I don't understand New York. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. People in other boroughs be corny and they be trying to rep New York, but they be corny, and that's what it is. And we don't like corny people. So it is what it is. But anyway, Rella jetted out that gym and was like, let me just be quiet and get out of here because this is the wrong person to mess with. And that was the smartest thing she ever said in her life. That was the smartest thing she said in her life. She dodged that bullet, child. She dodged the bullet. And I was like, good, just get out of there before she mop and stop. Because I was like, the moment Daisy got up and was like walking towards her, I was like, oh, she about to rock and sock this chick and she don't even really understand. And I'm like, what I don't understand is why people always say, I'm from New York, I'm from New York. Like, it doesn't really mean nothing because you don't have the whole borough with you, like in a fight. You know what I'm saying? So I hate when people say, what you talking about? I'm from New York, da, 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 and they ready to fight. Like, if they're going to fight. No, it's either you can fight or you can't fight. And that's what annoys the shit out of me. Excuse my language. But that's what annoys the crap out of me is people always, when they're about to get into a fight, they be like, I'm from New York, blah, blah, blah. That means nothing to me when it comes to a fight. I'll say that. And for Rella to continue to say, oh, I'm from New York, but I'm from Harlem and the Bronx. Girl, you're from the Bronx. Stop playing games. And that means nothing when it comes to a fight. It's either you can fight or you can't. And I'm going to be the first one to say it. And I've always felt like that because even when I was like away in college, girls used to say that too all the time. Like, oh, I'm from New York. And I'm from, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? It's either you can fight or you can't fight. That's just the two things. If it's something else when it comes to like rep your set or your style or something like that, it's different. But when it comes to a fight, it's either you can fight or you can't fight. Period. You don't got the whole borough on your back. So whatever. But then Cupcake and Oxy Pearly, I don't know how you say the name. They had the whole cancer talk. Because she felt like when she made that statement, that cancer statement, she was like, she was pulling on sympathy, and I agree. Cupcake said she didn't, but I feel like something happened in Oxy Pearly's life that made her get mad at that statement because she knew what it was. And I feel like we all knew what it was. Felt like she was pulling on somebody's heartstrings in order to get to get some sympathy so that they could back off of her a little bit. So she just called it out. The conversation was like civil, which I agree with and I understand. But Oxy Pearly said the same thing that I said when I seen when she initially made the statement was, you doing all of this drinking, smoking, carrying on, you partying, you fighting, you doing all of this stuff, and you're not taking care of your health if that's something that actually concerns you, you know? And I'm like, if this is the case and that is concerning because that's a serious thing, why would you not take it easy? You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. People gonna say and people gonna do what they want to do, child. So let's just talk about Gloss Up because we here now, right? We here. They having a conversation with Ming. I still feel like Ming is too young and Ming needs to go. I feel like she is putting on a caricature, like I've been said, and I'm gonna keep saying. And I feel like she should have never gotten in front of the camera. I don't think she should have got in front of the camera. I think she should have just chilled out on the sidelines or just made her come up some other way, but not on this. I feel like Gloss Up is boring. I feel like she took these 3 episodes or these 3 days. It's 3 episodes for us, but I don't know how many days had transpired. But I feel like she took this time to be quiet and not say nothing and observe to figure out who could fight and who can't fight so that she could like really put herself out there. And that's just how I feel. Like I felt like she wasn't really confrontational on the bus when they called her out on a bus for being a VIP pick. She wasn't confrontational in any other setting, but the moment something else, when she felt everybody out and like, oh, I know Shay can't really fight, I know you know what I'm saying? So she was gonna, cause she ain't say nothing to Daisy, she ain't say nothing to Bahati, like none of them but them. And then a lot of people gonna come in my comments and probably say, oh, you know, but she's a celebrity. Okay, but you shouldn't be on BaDDIES Gone Wild. You should be on BaDDIES Africa with the other people who's a little bit more calm and adult. Like, how old is she? Because if Ming is 19 and a lot of these other girls is in their like early 20s, then if you have that mentality or that, you know, you're established and you have that prestige, then you should be over there on that other show, not on this show with these young little girls. Anyway, I just need to know how old she is. That's all. What else? When they fought, I think the first round, Shay won, and the second round, no, the first round she won. And the second round, Shay won. But I just feel like it was a corny argument. I was mad that she kind of like put that battery in Ming's back to fight. If you wanted to fight Shay, you should have just walked up to her or confronted her yourself. You shouldn't have you should not have done that triangulation. That was corny. That was whack. Ming is too young. She fell for the okey doke, and she actually went to go fight her, unless y'all plotted this beforehand. I don't know, but I felt like that was corny of you to send her to go ask the girl if she want to fight, and then you turn around and then fight for her. It was real corny. I didn't like it at all. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all think. I just didn't like it. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling Gloss Up. I don't like her. I don't like what she did. I'm just not feeling it. And like I said, if she wanted to fight Shay, she should have just fought her on her own. Because you felt some kind of way when she said that on the bus. She pressed you on the bus. You didn't really respond. You shouldn't have waited 3 days to respond. You should have responded in kind. You should have had already been on her like everybody else was. I don't think you should have waited, and I don't think you should have used Ming as a pawn to get at Shay. Like, oh, you're not gonna fight her. You're not gonna fight her. Then she shouldn't have came and asked whether or not the girl wanted to fight or not. Because if somebody coming to me and asks me if I want to fight about whatever the situation they just had, oh, we gonna fight. And everybody knows that. So why would you even send her in to do that? So that was corny of Gloss Up. And if you want to have this image of, all right, I'm established, I'm a star, I'm this and that, whatever. I'm not even a star, but just whatever. Then you shouldn't be making moves like that. Because that was corny. If you was a real woman and you was about it, you would approach Shay on your own. And that's just how I feel. But anyway, that's my spiel. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what it is. And I will catch y'all on the comeback. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.